Hi everyone, hi Fintech enthusiasts. We are here live at Money Motion 2025 with Nikola and Damir, the masterminds behind the event. We have here the third edition. We see it is very, very successful. People are having great time. And now I'm curious to see, when was Money Motion first conceived? I mean, what inspired the creation of this event?
Okay, I will take this one for the beginning. This is the third event
Yes.
in total. We had the idea, I would say, around 9 months before the first event. And the idea came up on a conference which Nikola and I were together in Belgrade. It was a smaller, let's say, niche event for the also payment, fintech, crypto industry. Nikola was a speaker at that time in that event. I was not. And after we finished with the first day of the conference, we started discussing, this is interesting. We have something similar in Zagreb, in Croatia, but those are also smaller events or smaller size and so on. But we don't have anything big, not just in Zagreb, in the whole region. Let's do something big. I would say that was the initial idea when it came up. Then Nikola and I started to think who else should join us into this project. Nikola took, let's say, the crypto part for him. He invited a colleague of his, Luka, who also ended becoming up one of our co-founders, and Robert Penezic and Igor Gržalja, let's say, somehow covered the payments traditional part of the event. I would say we gathered quickly on a drink when the two of us returned from Belgrade, and the five of us immediately agreed, okay, let's do it. So the driver was, as I told you at the beginning of my answer, there was not something big in the region. We all had to go to Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris for such larger gatherings and events. And the idea was, okay, let's do it in Zagreb. Let's have it in Zagreb.
And the thing is also that Luka and I, another of our co-founders, we were part of organization of a Block Split, which at that time was a crypto conference in Split. And crypto conferences are pretty relaxed. Everybody's a friend there, so it's a bit different than traditional financial conferences. And Damir heard about what we are doing, and we were discussing why wouldn't we make a financial conference, but that feels like a crypto conference, pretty relaxed. And we have an experienced team from our crypto conference. And I used to do a lot of film festivals, so I knew guys from the film festival industry. And we thought, okay, let's do like a financial conference, but it's like crypto conference slash, a film festival. Let's make it fun. And that resonated, with the guys from the traditional industry. So Robert and Igor, they are working a lot with bankers, with payment institutions, with MasterCard, and they all, our first sponsors, they picked up on the idea, and they realized, okay, yeah, we really need something like this. This could be a good place to do business in a relaxed atmosphere. And now, third year in, it's obviously working.
So big, fun, something that would reunite traditional payment players with the crypto ones. So it seems that you kind of nailed it. How things evolved since the first idea and this year 2025, from what you noticed?
The first year, we didn't know what to expect. We gave ourselves a really optimistic goal of gathering 1,000 people in Zagreb for the first year. A lot of people thought we were crazy. In the end, it turned out that some 2 weeks before the conference, we realized, because we were not keeping track of the tickets, we realized we oversold it. There was so much interest that our PR department, they really created the hype. They really sold the vision, sold the story. So first year, instead of 1,000 people, we had 1,300 people. So we had to move to this place. From the first day, it was international conference. Our first keynote was a board member of Revolut. First year, we already had foreign visitors, not only from the region, from Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, but really international speakers. For the next year, we moved to a bigger place. We added another stage, Fintech 2030, which was a hit. This year, we added another stage, the expo stage. Our expo just every year grows larger. This year, we decided also to add more industries, because it doesn't make sense to talk about payments if you don't have retailers here.
Yeah.
So now we have retailers. And for the next year, who knows? This year also we have InsurTech.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really great panel on InsurTech, and with players in this industry we are talking about having a separate InsurTech stage next year. So we are going to grow more. That's quite obvious.
Yeah, we'll leave it for the last question because we are going to see what's happening in 2026. But Damir wanted to...
Yeah, I wanted to say that the first event which Nikola mentioned now 3 years ago, we were not expecting that, honestly. So, okay, the idea was we'll issue 1,000 tickets, we will be happy with 70-80% of the tickets sold, but this 30% above of what we planned was unbelievable. So you need to take in consideration, first year, nobody heard about Money Motion. It's a name we came up few months before the conference. What is this? Something new? How will people react? And the result was really unbelievable. And I would say that is one of the things which definitely pushed us to grow. The driver was the push from the people, from the community, that they really needed it, that they really wanted it. And I would say, okay, we are here, of course, to make as many of their wishes possible and come true. And of course, add a little bit of our flavors on top of that.
Yeah, talking about flavors, we talked a lot about the event, but now I'm curious because, yeah, both of you have a background in financial services, and actually your bread and butter or the things that you're playing around are payments. And Damir, I'm curious to see, when did you first get involved in the payments industry, and what payment trends, fintech trends are you following?
Okay, so I would say it was 2013, 14 or something like that. I started, okay, not in the financial industry. In the financial industry, I've previously worked at a bank, but I was not inside the payments department. I was more treasury and so on. But let's say the real touch with the payments was this year, which I mentioned you. And it kicked off with me starting working for a large investment fund, which was also big in e-com, who was having multiple merchant accounts across the countries, across the whole globe. And I was in charge of opening their merchant accounts in this region of Europe, including the Baltics. So not only Southeastern Europe, but Baltics plus Southeastern Europe. During one of mine trips to an acquiring bank, I met a partner of mine, Azem Husrep, with whom I co-founded the company Money Payments, which I am currently managing. Azim was a technical person, and a great visionary, I must underline, who brought all the technology with him. And on the other side, I was the one who brought my financial expertise, management expertise, and so on. And I would say that the two of us were quite a nice bond to do all the things which Monry is today. Coming back to the digital trends which you mentioned, I would definitely outline a couple of them. On the opening panel of the conference, I think that, I'm not sure, Sylvia from WorldPay or Dwayne, somebody mentioned the amount of digital wallets being used daily. So whether it was 55 or 59% of the total volume by e-com generated today is driven to digital wallets. So definitely digital wallets is, I would say, not even a trend. It's something which is mainstream nowadays. Second thing, instant payments. Definitely, even until today and throughout the 2 following days of the conference, we will hear a lot about instant payments for a reason. You see that there are many initiatives running in the whole European Union, whether there are private companies, whether they are companies owned by the central banks of each countries, but somehow all of them are trying to push instant payments on their way.
Yeah.
And the third one, which also now comes on the top of my head, is vertical integration of payments. So not just offering e-commerce, in-store payments, online payments, or whatsoever, but integrating that in the whole flow of the process. So I don't know, Shopify can be a nice example. You have a web shop, you have payments from Shopify, you have invoicing from Shopify, and so on. Other companies as well follow the trend. You see more and more acquisitions in our industry of companies which didn't seem logical before. So you now see a payment provider acquiring an electronic cash register company. Why? Because they want the bundled service. They want to offer a one-stop shop for everybody. So definitely those three are the ones which I would outline.
Yeah. And Nikola, we had the papers, many discussions around crypto and DeFi. And I'm curious, yeah, what key crypto developments are you watching, or are you watching closely in 2025? Or, yeah, you recommend the audience to keep an eye on?
First one is definitely banking, because
Oh, crypto and banking.
yes,
Aren't they contradictory?
yes, it is. It is. I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to help found a conference like this is basically to allow traditional finance and crypto to intermingle. I mean, crypto is maybe 20% of program of this conference. Vast majority is traditional finance, banking, payment, fintech. But what we created here is a place for traditional finance and crypto to talk. That was 3 years ago. What we have been seeing in the last year is more and more traditional banks being interested in working with crypto companies. Tomorrow we'll have a fireside chat with Svetlana Seyer from Kraken. She's a senior institutional relationships manager, and Kraken is one of the top 10 exchanges in the world. And the amount of work both Kraken and Electrocoin, my company, are doing with banks in the last year is just exploding. So I think this is the trend. We see it from the trenches. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow at the fireside. We know what's happening. We see that banks are approaching. Well, it's 1 o'clock. Before noon, 2 new banks approached me today. We have to talk. We have to sit down. We have to see what we can do about crypto. So this definitely is, and as you probably know, when you work with banks, it's slow. So what's happening, what we are working on today, this is going to surface in a year or 2 years. So if you ask me what to keep an eye on in the next year or two, it's banks.
Yeah.
And the other is stablecoins. Those are exploding. Yes, currently nobody uses crypto for payments. I mean, not nobody. That's not true. I mean, we have a lot of volumes. We are also crypto payment processors, and we see a lot of volume. But it is it's less than 0.1% of total payments in the world. Of course, in Croatia, cards are maybe 15, 18, something less than 20%. And crypto is less than 0.1. And it's growing year on year, absolutely. But we are very far from mainstream. And what we see is now fundamental change, because not only market cap of stablecoins, but usable wallets, for instance.
Yeah.
Again, interest from traditional finance in stablecoins, because we had a fantastic opening keynote from Milan Gauder, who was talking about the problems of innovating in payments in Europe. Everything he told you about digital wallets and why they had issues. The same can be said about crypto, again, digital wallets. And I was listening to him closely. Everything relates also to stablecoins, and I think that he sent a powerful message that with few corrections, we really can kickstart the whole payments, wallet payments industry in Europe, and the stablecoins will definitely be a big part of that.
Yeah. And if you think also a bit about some trends you observed at consumer levels regarding crypto, what can you say in this area?
Okay, so I think that crypto Twitter is the best place to get the sentiment also from the retail and from the crypto OGs, from the crypto community, and there's a lot of despair. You know, like the cycle is over. We didn't go viral 10x and stuff like that. And this is the first time that we feel really that level of despair with retail customers, and that's because they don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Because first few cycles, everything was very public. For instance, DeFi summer of 2021, you could see on the blockchain what's happening. It's quite transparent. You could see projects growing, exploding, generating revenue, stuff like that. People getting rich, investing in all kinds of crypto tokens. Now, those two things I mentioned, you should keep your eye on. You don't see that. You don't know what's happening. I know because we are working with banks and payment institutions, but the guys on Twitter and retail investors, they don't know what's happening. They feel like we just stopped in our tracks, but we didn't. What we're gonna see happening in the next year or two is when your local bank offers to you crypto trading in your mobile app, this opens crypto trading to a whole new demographics. Like the amount of people that are exposed to crypto trading goes 10x, and then we see another bull run, but people in the retail sphere are not really they don't know what's happening, That's why this reaction.
Yeah, and now a question for both of you, because you mentioned this idea of sentiment, and I have a feeling that payments and fintechs are not just about financial matters. They are shaped by behaviors, geopolitics. Yeah, in terms of trends, what trends have you noticed, behaviors, messaging, regulators that are influencing payments in Europe?
So definitely, as you said, it's not just the main reason, I would say, why we are here, why we are discussing these topics, why we are at this and other conferences is because the things which we do really matter and don't impact just our company, that company, this payment provider, this card scheme. They impact the whole world. So Sylvia said also, I must quote her now, it's not money that makes the world go around. Payments are the ones, because without the payments, there is no money.
Yeah.
So definitely the sentiment exists. If I, let's say, would focus to a specific region like Europe and cover the things which you asked in regards of regulation and so on, I would say that even having it is in the form of European Union, it's still fragmented. You have instant payments in Spain, in Poland, in Romania, in DACH regions, which somehow are not interoperable. They don't work together. So I can use one instant payment method just on the market of Spain. Then I need to onboard, enroll, whatsoever, to use another one in Poland.
Yeah.
So I would say that we are lacking this interoperability, definitely. This is something where we should work. For instance, Monri currently works in 8 countries. Part of them are in the European Union and part of them are outside of the European Union. So I can, let's say, notice what is different in the European Union countries and non-EU countries. But one thing is the same. Everybody wants a local flavor. So everybody wants to have support on local language, somebody with whom they can talk in their own native language, ask a question, because it's sensitive. It's not just some transaction, it's somebody's money traveling, some service receiving the payment, some person paying out of his pocket for that service. So if anything happens, he would like to have somebody with who he could speak. So that localization definitely makes a big role, and that's the reason why I understand this fragmentation across Europe. But at one point of time, in my opinion, it should come together. It would be better for the users.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, to flip the same coin, we have geopolitics falling apart.
Yeah.
So kind of fit this lack of interoperability.
So because 1 year ago, the West was the West. It's one word. Homogeneous. There's who cared if Visa and Mastercard were U.S. companies or European companies. Yes. In fact, Visa was a European company. Visa Europe was a separate company up until a few years ago when Visa managed to buy off the European operations. Now, it becomes a factor. We seriously are talking about American boots on Greenland, on EU ground. I highly doubt there's going to be a war, but we are more and more making sense of the fact that our financial infrastructure is owned by two American companies. And we are now starting to talk about that. Again, I have to mention the fantastic keynote by Milan Gauder, who also opened this question. And that's why this year we have also more, philosophical slot where we have one of leading Croatian philosophers and one of the leading Croatian young economists talking just about that, about geopolitics, about ideology, and how we cannot have a financial conference anymore without talking about these topics.
Yeah.
And definitely the speed of the developments, of the new initiatives, of the things which are going to come will heavily depend on the geopolitical relationships. Because as Nikola said, 1 year ago, we were not even talking about this.
Yeah. And we didn't mention AI, because I think that with actually with so many developments, I don't know if our actually mind is keeping track or with the technology that is happening. And I think that we are going to have a clash at some point. I don't know exactly how it will play out in the payment space, but then when you have agentic AI doing transactions for you that you might not have authorized, or you don't have a separate identity, you don't know exactly how. But returning to the event, because all the time when I start the intro for my interviews, I stop a bit because I don't know. You like it Money Motion or Momo?
Money Motion, because it really it's the essence of what we are trying to do here, because money never stops. But not only money movement, but the growth of our industry, the change in our industry. Money Motion really represents what we are trying to get into here.
What to expect in 2026? I know this edition just started, but since you have Momo, FOMO, then fear of missing out for next year.
Continuing the trajectory. So this year, as I mentioned, we included, for instance, the retailers and InsurTech. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's early to talk about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had separate stages for those topics, because really those are really important topics that we cannot organize a conference anymore without that. From the main stage at the opening ceremony, I invited our visitors to tell us how we can create more value for them. And these 2 days we will use to talk to people, to hear what they want, what are they missing, and how we really can make this event better for them. And then to tell you a secret, next weekend we are all going to the seaside, for 2 days.
For a retreat.
Food, a bit of wine, and then we'll pile it all up on one table, and then we'll see what we are doing next year. But it's definitely be not only bigger, but really more quality. Not only content, not only networking, but who knows what else.
Yeah, you extract value at the max.
Totally. We offer value for people coming to this conference. You have to know we are not from the events organizing industry. Each of us 5 founders, is a CEO of a company that does business in this industry.
Yeah.
We are our own first customers, our first visitors, and we are trying to build something for us that's of course in line with all of the other visitors coming.
And I just want to add on what Nikola pointed out, because it really is important. All 5 of us are from the community. And I think that plays a major role when comparing Money Motion to other conferences. It's not here that, I don't know, we have a team of people who suggests us what program and content should we have next year, on what we should focus and so on. It's us living our daily lives, working, reading the usual stuff which we read, and putting it up as ideas for the next year.
Yeah, speaking about reading, I hope you are reading the papers, right?
Yes,
To
of
get
course,
some inspiration.
of course.
And speaking about, next year, I hope that you overcome, you double it. And if I am the 4,000 guest, I want my ticket free, okay?
Agree.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Nikola Damir, for today's talk.
Thank you.
And good luck. And hopefully this event will bring value to the whole community, including the papers. I learned many things, and it's only the first day, the first half.
And we want to see papers next year as well together with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirela.